in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane!
What made your last keeper leave?
He believed that there was some enchantment in the light.
What is up, guys? Critic is back with another review, and this review is on a Robert Eggers' new film, The Lighthouse, which stars Robert Pattinson and the Green Goblin himself, Willem Dafoe. I mean, whoever thought we were going to see Green Goblin and Batman in the same film? Well, if it does end up happening, but as far as we know it today, it is going to happen. But who would have thought we were going to have Green Goblin and Batman in the same movie? And before I get started, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what did you think of The Lighthouse, because you know, everybody's opinion matters, and I would definitely like to hear your guys' opinion of The Lighthouse, whether you like it or not, or if you're right in the middle or in between, whatever. But anyways, what is this movie about? Well, let me tell you. Two lighthouse keepers try to maintain their sanity while living on a remote and mysterious New England island in the 1890s. Alright, now with all that out of the way, Joker, start this review for us.
Here we go.
Alright, so heading into The Lighthouse, okay? I wouldn't say I love the trailers. I dug them. They looked interesting, okay? And Robert Eggers, I just recently watched The Witch for the first time, and while I dozed off a little bit in the movie, mainly because I was really tired. It wasn't the movie's fault, it was mainly because I was a little bit tired. But I dozed off for like 2 minutes, but don't worry, I rewinded it, I watched the whole thing. But that movie was very freaky. It was definitely freaky, like it gave me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. So I enjoyed the film. And you have Robert Pattinson in this movie, who's a solid actor. I mean, he is really good. And, I mean, yes, sure, the Twilight movies, which I never saw, but he's done so much now, so many smaller films now, where he's just brought like A-list performances, and he's just done a solid job since then. And then Willem Dafoe, it's Willem Dafoe, you know. And so, for those reasons, I was pretty excited to go see this movie, and coming out of it, and then plus the buzz, so coming out of it, I didn't dislike this movie, but I didn't love it. I'd say I liked this movie. I liked The Lighthouse. I'll start off with the pros here, and look, whether you like this movie or not, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe give Oscar-level performances in this film. Like, they just go hand in hand, and they are fantastic. Like, this is probably, even though it's not my favorite Robert Pattinson film, this is probably his best performance he's probably given. And Willem Dafoe this is also one of the best performances he's given. And I would nominate both of them. Like, I'd probably nominate more Robert Pattinson for best leading actor, and I'd probably nominate Willem Dafoe for best supporting actor. And whether you like this movie or not, their performances are just bloody brilliant. They are just fantastic, and you have to see this movie just to witness it yourself. Now let's head into my second pro of this film, and my second pro of The Lighthouse is this. Now, like I've said before, this is a character study film, so if you don't like these characters, you most likely will dislike this film strongly, because you spend an hour and a half with these two characters played by Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. So if you don't like these characters, then this film will just not work for you. However, I really enjoyed these characters. I mean, I got like the Shining Jack Torrance vibes out of these characters. I mean, especially from Robert Pattinson's character. I mean, I won't give any spoilers, but seeing his character development was definitely one of the best parts of the film. And Willem Dafoe, I mean, a lot of the comedy goes off of his character, and there is some comedy in this film, and I think it works. And whenever he just goes full throttle and just like gets into arguments with Robert Pattinson, it's just so entertaining, and it's one of the best parts of the film. So definitely the two characters played by Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe was definitely one of the best parts of this movie. And my third pro of The Lighthouse is that there's a lot of messages out of this movie, and there's a lot of detail in this movie. And what I like about movies like this that have lots of details and messages is that I can always go back to it at a second viewing, because I know for a fact I missed a lot of things in this film. I know for a fact. So I definitely need to rewatch this movie whenever it comes out. But there's definitely a lot of detail in this film which I really like. I mean, like for example, my favorite horror film of all time is The Shining. There's so much detail in that film that every time I watch it, I've seen it a million times, I still get something new out of it. And there's, even though The Lighthouse has a simple, basic story, I mean, there's nothing complex about it, there's definitely a lot of detail to it, which I do like I said before. Now let's head into the cons of The Lighthouse. Now my first con of this film is that, look, if your movie is just a straightforward character study film with just a simple premise and nothing much to it, you don't need to elaborate on it, that I think your movie probably do best at 90 minutes. There's a select few out there, yes, sure, 2 hours, that's totally good, I'm fine with that. But however, with this movie, I think it would have done better at 90 minutes. Like, it runs in at 1 hour and 50 minutes. I just felt like it was too long. I felt it drag a little bit at parts in the movie to the point where I just felt a little bit bored. There's moments in this film where I'm like, oh, okay, I don't really think we need this. It felt a little bit repetitive. I feel like you could have cut this out and it could have been 90 minutes and you would have accomplished the same objectives than it did at 1 hour and 50 minutes, and it probably would have had the same impact, at least in my opinion. Heck, you might go see this film and be like, yo, I could have had this movie be 3 hours long, but in my opinion, I would have enjoyed it to be more at 90 minutes. So overall, I enjoy The Lighthouse. I definitely need to see it again, and maybe when I rewatch it, I'll end up loving this film, because usually when I watch movies a second time, I usually dislike it even more, or I enjoy it even more, and I have a feeling with The Lighthouse, I might enjoy it even more. But don't get me wrong, I did like this movie. I mean, when you got the two powerhouse performances in here, when you have a lot of detail in this film, when you have all the messages that it comes across with and delivers it very creatively, there's definitely a lot of pros in this movie, and I definitely recommend this film. However, it does come across a little bit too long in the tooth and a little bit boring at times, just because it felt a little bit repetitive. However, I did really enjoy this film, and I definitely recommend this movie, and therefore, I will give The Lighthouse a 3.75 out of 5 Fernies. And I recommend this movie. You should definitely go out and see it, especially if you like Willem Dafoe or Robert Pattinson, or if you like Robert Eggers' style, that you definitely feel like he directed this movie, especially if you've seen The Lighthouse. And yeah, that's it for Kid Critic here in this Lighthouse review. And like I said before, comment down below, what did you think of The Lighthouse? Did you like it? Were you on the same page with me, or did you dislike it? And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that's very important. And as always, in every single Kid Critic video, look out for the next video or review. And peace.